Every day it seems we hear more stories about how young kids are bored by school. We know technology is pushing up against traditional education. Schools and teachers are scrambling to keep up and at least try to stay somewhat relevant. One way to do this might be to use hip-hop and education along with rap, marry the two of them together. Dr. Shirley Steinberger is here with us. So we've talked about this at length in the last couple of years, trying to keep young folks interested in what's going on in their schools, and what's behind the idea of incorporating hip-hop and rap into that.
Well, one of the ideas is to engage kids. You engage them in the culture that they're most comfortable with. And the majority of kids today listen to hip-hop. All over the world, hip-hop is the language of youth. It's a culture, it's not a subculture, it's an entire way of seeing the world. Along with that, we engage kids that are not normally privileged to do sports or to take lessons, that kind of thing, who do use more urban ways of expression like graffiti or hip-hop and rap to express themselves. We take it to the classroom and we incorporate it that way.
We're looking at some video of a recent event here in Montreal that brought together a whole bunch of different groups to sort of push this forward and sort of explore what you're talking about.
Right. This group here is of 18 and 15-year-old mix of kids from city high schools in Montreal. These kids are from Côte-de-Neige area. They go to a drop-in center called Maison des Jeunes. There they learn to do different kinds of work that can be carried into their future. They learn to do mixes, they learn to do graffiti, they learn to do hip-hop, rap, music, and to do the spoken word, which is a form of poetry.
Okay, now you know a lot about the way the education system is structured, and you're a critic of it to a certain extent. How practical is it to try to incorporate this kind of thing into a formal educational system?
Incredibly practical, because it doesn't cost anything. That's the thing, is if you don't have computers, you don't have anything. This is an urban form of expression, meaning it doesn't cost anything because people in the urban areas traditionally don't have a lot of resources. It's sort of along the same way Stomp does music and percussion by using old garbage cans. Well, hip-hop is through language, it's through words. It's also a good conflict resolution. I have honestly seen two guys come at each other with really bad feelings about one another, taking it out to the street and doing what's called freestyle, doing a battle between them in hip-hop words and language, and settle their problems.
Do you think the education system gets it, for lack of a better term? Because this would involve a rethink, right? A rethink on the part of a lot of people.
No, I don't think it gets it. I think that education wants to stay the way it was 50 years, 70 years ago. And I think until teachers and administrators and ministries understand that we need to contextualize teaching to the kids whom we're teaching, we need to come from where they understand us. Language arts and language is always the same. It's grammar, it's spelling. That can be done boring, or it can be done with rhyme and with spoken word and poetry and hip-hop and movement.
What's the danger if people out there don't feel included?
That they'll find something that maybe not as safe or healthy to get involved in. This is the kind of work that kids will come to because they're interested. And we have several high schools here in Montreal that are very anxious to get their students in doing spoken word and hip-hop.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Todd.
Appreciate it.